And I really want to thank Mr. Robert Lewis, our DJ, who in the nick of time came through and agreed to provide some entertainment for us.
Yeah!
But mostly I want to thank you guys, not just for coming out, but for what you're about to do. Everybody here is committed to flipping this district. Not just because the representation that we have is inadequate, but because we finally have the right candidate. So this is what I need all of you to do. I want to thank you for coming out tonight, but I want to see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock at our headquarters. We're going to go canvassing. We need you to knock doors, reach out to voters. This is where we win. We win on the ground. Now, Peter's going to make that appeal again, but I'm making it now. We need everybody, all hands on deck, tomorrow, 2 p.m. at our campaign headquarters downtown, 303 Williams Street, Suite 11, Williams Avenue, Suite 11. We need you all to come canvass because we got to get this man elected.
Yeah!
Now, Peter is a remarkable person. He's a remarkable candidate, and I trust him. Most of you know him, but if you have not heard from him, be prepared to really fall in love with who we're about to put in this office. So without further ado, I give to you our next congressman, Mr. Peter Joffrion.
Thank you, Dexter, and thank you, everyone, for coming out on a beautiful Friday afternoon, Friday evening. I'm just testing you, see if you're paying attention. Saturday evening. How many of you were here 10 months ago when we kicked off this campaign on this one? That's right. It's been an interesting and actually a very short 10 months. But a lot has happened in 10 months. In fact, a lot has happened today. This is our 4th event today. That's how active our campaign is. That's how much is going on. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit about one of the events early today. I was at a barbershop, Reflections Barbershop, down off Patton Road, close to Gate 10 of the Arsenal. Anybody familiar with Reflections Barbershop down there? Well, let me tell you something. Barbershops and salons, that's where life happens, folks. If you want to talk about politics, if you want to talk about what's going on in your lives or the lives of anybody else, go to a barbershop or a salon. That was one very active group, but I'll tell you what they were talking about. And it's one of the best discussions I've had about politics in a long time. There are 2 primary issues, and I know we have a lot of issues to talk about. Their 2 primary issues were criminal justice reform, but personal accountability. And that one kind of surprised me, talking about personal accountability, about what it means to be a good mother or a good father, and how you have to be responsible in order to do that. But what was interesting is that so many of the people in this barbershop had come from very difficult and challenging circumstances and backgrounds. Some of them had actually been in jail and had gotten out of jail and had been incarcerated. But they were not falling victim to victimhood. They viewed that circumstances were a challenge, but it was not an excuse. They didn't feel like they had the right to wallow in self-pity, that they had a responsibility, as we all do, to make a difference in the world and to make a difference in this district. They understand that they have a voice and they have a vote. And they were given hope last December when Doug Jones beat Roy Moore in a special election. And they were given more hope because of all the special elections that have occurred around the country where Democrats are winning in very strong Republican strongholds. This district, ladies and gentlemen, is rated as an R+19 district. But don't tell that to Mo Brooks. Because we're going to beat Mo Brooks in 2018. Now, it's not enough to be against somebody in order to win an election. You have got to have a message.
That's right.
And we do have a message, and you know why? Because we only have one special interest, and that is you.
That's right.
We care about whether or not you have a job, and the right kind of job, and whether or not you have to work more than one job. Another issue that was discussed at the barbershop this morning was that, yes, most people have a job, but a lot of the men and women who were working down there have to work 2 jobs. Now, what does that mean? That means that they don't have a family life. They can't spend time with their children. they have to spend all of their time working. So it's not enough to have employment, we have to have the right kind of employment and not underemployment. And we can't allow somebody like Mo, he has attempted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Well, I agree with him on one thing. The Affordable Care Act is a vehicle, but it's not the best vehicle. What we really need is universal health care.
Yeah.
We need affordable and accessible health care for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, Mo Brooks doesn't have any solutions. I like to refer to him as Dr. No, because he's against everything except for one thing. He was for one thing. Y'all know what that was?
Military
The
spending.
tax cut, the $2 trillion tax scam that gave 86% of that money to the very wealthiest among us in corporations. And what did the corporations do with that money? They turned around and invested it in their own stock so that the very wealthiest could get even wealthier because they're the ones who owned all the stock. That's what Mo Brooks voted for. Now, he has voted against health care, he's voted against this, and he's voted against that. He really doesn't care about anything except for special interest. And if you look at his campaign contributions, he has received over $1.42 million from PACs, from special interest. He is more concerned about voting to protect the interest of the corporations who give him money than he is about voting to do something that's in your best interest. Mo has got to go. I believe in you. I believe in America. I'm asking America to believe in me. I'm asking you to believe in me. It is time we flip the 5th District, reclaim this spot, and go on to victory in November of 2018. Thank you so much for being here.